What is up, guys and gals? Boat Game Nature Boy. Today we are in the Fletcher once again, I should say. We do have a very solid replay here for you guys. If you are thinking about heading up the American DD line, we're starting to have an understanding, if you will, with this particular vessel and myself. Before, maybe not so much, but also keep in mind I don't have it fully upgraded. I'm nowhere near. I don't necessarily play it enough to get it fully upgraded. I kind of end up sticking to the mid tiers, which is kind of weird for me because originally, say in World of Tanks, I used to do nothing but high tiers all the time. 10s, boom, 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 all the time. Now I'm kind of the opposite. I like to play everything, and that's good because I'm keeping all the ships. So anyway, enough about me. Right off the jump, we've got some fish headed towards this gentleman. We're going to post up, and the plan is to maybe see if we could decorate him or someone else with some cannon fire, possibly. That's one thing I really enjoy about the American DD guns. They are remarkably fast. I mean, super fast. Now, to the actual ship itself, the turret traverse is just astounding. The DPM damage, I mean, you know, realistically, if you've got the DPM, it doesn't really matter what the damage is. You can make up for it in the end. But the guns actually do a decent amount of damage. We tried to catch that gentleman some fish. It just did not happen for us. And we are going to start the pain rain, or should I say the rain pain. Either way, we're going to shoot him. We're shooting with high X here, just simply because he's not at a good angle for us to try to run AP. And you generally don't want to run AP against a battleship. Cruisers, yes, if you kind of have your commander game on point. We're running Anton. He's almost maxed out. Well, excuse me, Anton is an inspiration. So if we saw cruisers sideways sitting broadside, we would definitely take some shots at him. However, since this gentleman decided to expose himself, Waka Waka, we are going to decorate him there. Hit his screws. He is immobilized. I'm sure he's going to fix it. He may not fix it fast enough. He's on fire. He's got problems in his life. He really does. He is definitely not long for this world. And we're going to continue laying down some fire. We kind of have to be very careful sitting in a cloud, guys, because, you know, a lot of times the other DDs, obviously, you've seen it, and there it is right there. Took a fish right off the jump. They fire fish into clouds, so a lot of times it does not behoove one to post up in a cloud. The clouds are kind of for, you know, to throw something down and get the heck out of there. Obviously, if you didn't have any DDs in your zone, what have you, or you had, I mean, even cruisers will throw fish towards the clouds. But, you know, something to think about. That, you know, you could post up there if you knew for certain there weren't any DDs, what have you. In this case, we don't know. You know, there was definitely one throwing some fish towards us. We are leaving the premises here. We're pretty badly damaged, right under 15K. Not necessarily a fan. They're shooting at us. We're throwing a rudder back and forth, trying to jink and jive, and it's working out for us. Surprisingly, they have yet to connect with us. Looks like we might even catch a fish. No fish. I was kind of thinking we might manage to target. He might manage to run into one of them, or vice versa. Moving on. We're falling back here. It reloads almost up. We're kind of looking through the scope here and plotting and seeing what's what. Now, just keep in mind that, you know, if this were to really happen, you know, say for example real life, what have you, and you were to realistically shoot torpedoes at a target from a submarine or a destroyer or whatever, you would have to do all this math in your head. The game just works it out on its own. So it's really good, you know, because not only do you have to take in your speed and direction, you have to take in the enemy speed and direction, and the speed of the torps and so on and so forth. So there's a lot of math involved. So anyway, it's a good thing. The game does it by itself. Now, I'm going to say this, and I think I try to say it a lot. Use this as a guideline, because that is if they decide to stay 100% on course. How many times, you know, have you went out here and fired on somebody and they stayed on course? Very rarely. So something to think about. you know, a lot of times if I'm throwing two sets at the same target, I'll end up throwing one long, one short, because 90% of the time they're either going to tighten up the range there, or they're going to make it run long. So, you know, you can even go so far as to just split both of them right down the middle. Either way, I mean, you know, find out what works for you, what makes you able to go out there and connect, and go with that. So, as far as score goes, we're still sitting at 15K. We need to do something about that. We're not fans of it. We need to make it mo better. We're throwing a cloud here. We're in a very, very good spot. Looks like we're going to have a number of fish hits there. And we are posted up in a proper area to rain down heck on some of these folks. And that's exactly what we're doing. Of course, this gentleman right here may not make it that far. He takes a wall of hatred. We're up 62K now. And just like that, we went from 15 to 62. So 45,000 damage. 47,000 technically is how much it went from. So, you know, we pretty much took all of that BB's health. And I've been there. We've all been there. I mean, it happens. There's nothing to be ashamed of. All you need to do is just focus up, learn what to do, learn from your mistakes, and move on. And, you know, you also have to consider, you can't just go out here and have, you know, bang up amazing games back to back all the time. You're going to go out there and sometimes you're just going to get crapped on early, and it's going to ruin your game. And, you know, essentially I'm trying to help everybody not, you know, fall victim to the salt, so to speak. Because a lot of folks get awful angry sometimes, and you just can't let it affect you. You can't let it get to you. You know, you play this game to have fun. Don't be one of those people who kind of get hung up on it, so to speak. So as you can see right there, I threw one long, one short, and they're very close to one another. And I always like to throw the long ones first. But you know, maybe I should switch it around, because if they see, I don't know, if you think about it, depending on which ones they see first, you would also kind of have to look at what it looks like when, you know, how far away they can see your fish. For example, the Grimyashi's like 1 click, the Kamikaze's 1.4. So all this is taken into account. Now he's turning right there. He's going to take one on the chin, which was the right thing to do. And it's like I'm always saying, guys, you know, if you absolutely can, split the torps. You never want to take them broadside. If you even suspect there is a DD in the area, start doing wild, crazy maneuvers. And that's exactly what this guy did. He just picked up, turned, and, you know, kind of minimize the damage, so to speak, right there. So we're up to 85. Well, let's call it 86, 85-9. And, you know, we're looking to stack some more. We are losing as a team badly. There's no pulling this out for us. We physically don't have enough time left on the board to kill everyone. It's just not going to happen. So we're essentially looking out for us. Now, I have been in some games where it's happened, and who knows, it may happen this game. But you have to be a realist when you get in these games, and, you know, eventually they're going to release stats, and everybody's going to be hung up on stats. But you always, you know, you have to look at the bottom line of, you know, realistically, you know, what is the probability of me pulling this out? I mean, you know, they've got us outnumbered. You know, how spread out as the bad guys. They've got all caps. We don't have very many points / any coming in. So you have to take everything into account. And I feel like if you do this and you kind of step back, look at it logically for a second, you're like, you know, there's little I can do to make us win the game. So I need to go out there and stack as much damage as I physically can before we're out. And we just lost another gentleman. And it's, you know, little old us out here trying to farm the bad guys. 2v4. Not a good situation in anybody's book. And I'm a one-shot for pretty much anything on the map. However, we need to make sure we stay off the radar. We're throwing fish here. This gentleman's not having it. He is not a fan of our fishes. And he's doing a pretty good job at avoiding them. And, you know, given the opportunity, most good BB drivers, operators can avoid the fish, simply because they get so many thrown at them and they know what they're doing and so on and so forth. And that's kind of the case here. It's just not working out for us. And you got to understand, sometimes that happens. Sometimes you just cannot do anything with it. I'm debating on trying to take this gentleman down. If we can get rid of this fella right here, that's going to be a big piece to the puzzle. But at the same time, I'm kind of afraid if I get detected, it is a wrap for my little Fanny. So my mans takes him out there, loading heat. Bravo for him. He shoots him down. And now we're going to go ahead and run in here and see if we can't get this kill shot on this gentleman. Get him off the map. We're only going to fire one set at him since he's so low health. All we'd have to do is just pretty much graze him with a torp, and he would be removed from play. But we do have to also keep in mind, we have to keep our distance. I am going to fire at him a little bit, just simply because I'm kind of watching his guns. I know where his guns are. I know where they're not. We're going to fire him a little bit, and then we're going to dip, duck, dive, dodge behind this corner and, kind of make everything better. I was debating on throwing the last little bit of fish there, but I think we're going to go ahead and hold off until things really go down. Boom. We managed to get the kill. Brings us up to 90k. 90.9. So we're hanging in there. I mean, we haven't broke 100,000 yet, but we're still pushing for it. Over here to my 12, we've got a smoke cloud. I wonder what's in there. So we're going to go ahead slide on over here. But we have to be cautious. We do have a gentleman right there on the map. A couple of fellas on the map. But like I said, we do have to be careful because there are two of them. They're in the same area, and what that means is maximize firepower. If they catch me slipping, they both can decorate me with little risk to themselves, because I am going to be way too busy running versus actually returning sufficient fire. And even though I'm an American DD, there's only so much fire I can do, and the amount of time it would take them to kill me. So a lot of this, like I've said before, it comes down to basic math. You start running the numbers, things start not adding up. You're like, okay, well, let's work with what we have. Okay, we don't have any health, we can't be spotted. Let's work on the not spotted mechanic. Let's stealth torp everything that moves, hope for the best, move on. We only want to use our guns when absolutely necessary or is when advantageous to us, kind of like we did that gentleman previously. We used the guns, we took him out, and then we ended up taking cover behind an island, which is highly recommendable given that type of situation. This is essentially a clutch mode, and we're going to see if we're up to snuff. We fired some torps at that gentleman right there. Not really certain if anything's going to happen. We're kind of hanging on to these other ones here. Keep them in our back pocket. We're going to go ahead and throw some hatred at this gentleman right here. Oh, and he is slinging it back, and we are not fans. We're going to see if we can line up to get some torps off before we end up dying. And we are turning hard, throwing some rounds at him right there. Because this is the time, unfortunately, we need to get in here and get involved. God, they are coming close. Brown pants, they are coming close. I am too far away from this island. I'm turning away a little bit. I'm kind of jinking back and forth, but you don't necessarily want to make them think you're going for the island, because then that'll kind of set them up. They'll kind of leave their shots in there. We end up taking the round. We stopped there on 92k so far. We've still got fish in the water. Andre, loading heat here, and the lightning is left to kind of hold things down for us. Not necessarily sure if he can end up taking these two gents down, but you know what? It doesn't really matter. They're going to hit the points soon, and if not, the timer's going to run out. So it's pretty much a win or a win at this point. And sadly, I think it's going to be a win for them and a loss for us. But you know what? We went out there. We did everything we could. Sometimes, guys, you're going to do everything you can in these clutch modes, and it's still not going to be enough. Because, Loading Heat and I had constant communication. We knew exactly what we were doing. We had all these advantages, and there were two of them, and it just did not work out for us. And it's, it happens. There's only so much you can do in a game of this nature. You go out there, you give it 110%, at the end of the day, you have nothing to feel bad for, if you catch my drift. So we did have a very, very good game. Unfortunately, it was a L, but that's fine. You know, there'll be plenty more games in the future. 92,710 damage, 297k. Guys, really hope you enjoy. Make sure to check out the stream Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll catch you guys in the next video. See you later.